chair recognizes at this time Dr. Chuck Kelly, New Orleans Baptist Theological Seminary. We welcome you to the platform, Dr. Kelly.
Thank you very much, Mr. President, and it's good to be here with you today. This is my 20th report to the Southern Baptist Convention as president of New Orleans Baptist Theological Seminary. I thank you so very much for all that you have done at NOBTS. If you're curious, during the 20 years that I have been president at New Orleans Seminary, the Southern Baptist Convention, through the cooperative program, has given more than $149 million to NOBTS. To quote an ancient Hebrew expression, wow! That's pretty amazing. Not bad for a denomination that is not supposed to value theological education. We're so grateful for our partnership. We're also grateful for what God is doing in that school of providence and prayer. We are in a place that does not bear any resemblance to a Baptist stronghold. When we were created nearly 100 years ago, there were only some 5 or 6 Southern Baptist congregations in the whole city, and most of those were missions. We were put there to be a lighthouse as well as a schoolhouse. And from that day when we started with just 5 or 6 Southern Baptist congregations, there are more than 100 Southern Baptist congregations in New Orleans now, nearly all of them established by students or faculty members of New Orleans Baptist Seminary through the years, and the new church plants are still going on today. A part of your theological education at NOBTS is to prepare you to answer the call of God, whatever that call may be. We don't simply prepare you for where you are, we prepare you for where God is going to have you as the days unfold. So you will find not only those classes in the Bible and theology and church history and preaching, you will also find classes such as the required course in interpersonal relationships. Not that it matters that you know how to get along with people in a Baptist church. You will also find required a course that teaches you how to share your faith in Jesus Christ in a one-on-one conversation, and everybody will spend at least one semester going out door to door in the city of New Orleans, sharing Jesus Christ and learning how to bring people to Christ. Many of our students lead the very first person to the Lord they've ever led to the Lord during their time at seminary, because we know if you will not become a witness now, you are not likely to become one later on. And we simply have to get the gospel out from behind our pulpits into the streets and neighborhoods of our cities and our communities. That's where the prospects are, and that's what we teach you to do. We also believe that discipleship is an extremely important area. We have several degrees in discipleship. We also have a requirement for every student to spend the first year of their seminary in a small group of 10 to 12 people meeting with the professor once a week just to practice walking with God together. For it is in that life-to-life contact that we truly learn what it means to be a disciple of Jesus Christ. We were very, very excited when a donor gave us the opportunity to create the Fred Luter Jr. Scholarship for African American students in New Orleans and now in Atlanta. And we are able to spend $150,000 a year in scholarships just for African American students. We know that we have to raise up a generation of leaders who can lead not only in African American churches, but who can bring that African American voice into the affairs of the Southern Baptist Convention. And that is a very high priority for us. We were also thrilled when a donor gave us the most special scholarship we've ever had in the history of New Orleans Baptist Theological Seminary. 90% of Southern Baptist churches have 250 people or less present on any given Sunday morning in worship. Some 70% have 100 people or less who are present on any given Sunday morning. We are a convention of small churches. And we have a donor who gave us a scholarship for those who serve in our small churches in Louisiana and in Mississippi and in Alabama. We hope to extend it in the future to Georgia and to Florida as well. That scholarship pays all of the tuition and fees, provides a software program for preparing sermons and Bible studies, and it also provides many other things for these students and for their wives. But a very precious requirement for that is that every student who receives this scholarship every week to have a gospel conversation with somebody who is lost. And we teach those students to start every week on Monday morning. We call it the Monday morning prayer. Get out of bed and say, "Dear God, please give me at least one opportunity to have a conversation with somebody about Jesus Christ." Well, what happens when you make that simple commitment? In the last 2 years, these students, we have nearly 250 of them, these students who pray that Monday morning prayer have had 7,585 gospel conversations with people who are lost. Of those 700, that's right, it's a wonderful thing. Of those 7,500 conversations, 4,777 of them got to a point where they were able to ask somebody to give their lives to Jesus Christ. And 1,061 people were born again because someone prayed that Monday morning prayer. Let me just get you ready, Southern Baptists. We're going to be celebrating our 100th anniversary in the near future. We were created in 1917 by vote of the Southern Baptist Convention. We had our first class in 1918. And between 2017 and 2018, we'll celebrate our 100th anniversary. And we're going to ask you during that year to join us. Our goal is for Southern Baptist and the New Orleans Seminary family to have 100,000 gospel conversations to celebrate our 100th anniversary. We think lifting up Jesus is the best way to celebrate what God is doing at NOBTS. Thank you so very much for all that you have done. Thank you for sending us your students. Thank you for sending us your support. Thank you for lifting us up before the prayer. And we pray that you will continue to pray that we will be faithful to all that Jesus Christ is doing all over our campus and all over the world. Our book of reports, the book of reports contains our report on page 54. Mr. President, I'd be happy to answer any questions the messengers might have.
Thank you, Dr. Kelly. Do we have any questions for Dr. Kelly today about New Orleans Seminary? We have no questions. Dr. Kelly, thank you for your leadership, and thank you for New Orleans Seminary. Would you celebrate with me?